Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs are on their way to signing another elite recruiting class in this 2022 cycle, and they got some big news today as they've landed the signature of Kristin Miller, four-star defensive tackle out of Cedar Grove High School in Atlanta. Not only is he one of the top defensive line prospects in Georgia, but across the South too. 6'3", close to 6'4", around 300 pounds. Quick off the ball, he can tackle, he can clog the run lanes, he can get after the quarterback. He's a guy that I've seen multiple times. I've covered him for years now, and he was outstanding when I saw him this past fall against Wesleyan, just dominating his opponent play after play. Now, he's not going to be going up against guys like that in the SEC that are a lot, smaller and weaker than he is, but the quickness off the ball is not going to slow down. His motor is not going to change. His raw strength and power is not going anywhere. He is absolutely a guy that I think the staff is happy to have on board right now. They were up and down on Kristin Miller throughout his recruitment. They liked him early on. Then he kind of fell down their board a little bit. And then I guess it started back in the summer. He really climbed back up their board on the defensive line. And then this fall, he had an outstanding senior season, just dominating guys. And I was at this game to actually watch CJ Madden, who is currently committed to Georgia at the time, but I could not stop watching Kristin Miller. He was blowing up play after play. And yes, he's doing that against a smaller, program, against guys not as big as him, but he did the same thing against Buford in the spring game that I watched. He was killing dudes out there, getting to the quarterback, throwing the ball carrier behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, when he hits you, it's going to leave a mark. He is a big-time player, trains constantly with guys like Michael Williams already on board and others. He is a leader. I've seen him in action. He is a happy-go-lucky guy, always has a smile on his face. He loves life. But when it's time to put the pads on and play, he's a wrecking ball, and he is really, really tough to stop. He moves so well for his size. Doesn't really look like a 300-pounder when you see him. He's definitely a big dude, but he does carry the weight well, and again, his quickness off the ball really stands out. He can line up over the center, over the guard. He knows what he's doing. He's a football player. Against the run, he gets to the ball carrier quickly. He's not a guy that tackles and guards can really throw backwards. He's a guy who demands a double team, especially in the run game, or else he's going to sniff it out in the backfield. He always finds a way to make a play. There's a reason Ohio State went after him. There's a reason that Georgia ended up taking his commitment and are happy about it and pushed for him for years now. He's a big-time guy. His teammates love him. He's a great teammate, great leader, but his ability to get into the backfield, hunt down the quarterback, run down running backs for his size really stands out, and he changes direction well. Again, his quickness off the ball is what really stands out to me, and every time I watch him, he impresses. He really does. He's dealing with an injury now that he suffered in the state championship game, but even before that injury, I mean, the guy just gets off blocks and he makes plays and he flashes, and you notice him in the game. I mean, there's plenty of times that we go see some of these prospects and they don't make as many plays as maybe we expect them to, as covering UGA recruiting. And, we cover the best players in the country. Those are the guys that Georgia goes after. But the Kristin Miller jumps off the page every time we see him. He had one of the best performances I've seen from any player all last fall. He really gets after it, and he's technically sound. He's fundamentally sound. He knows what he's doing with his hands. He gets off blocks. He does his job if it's to eat up blocks and guys so linebackers can come and make a play. He does his job play after play, and he's a big addition to this class. To wrap this up, they also have Bear Alexander, another big defensive tackle. He'll play over the center and the guard at 6'3", 325 pounds. Another big guy who can really collapse the pocket from the inside and bring pressure there. We know that guys on the edge like Michael Williams and Marvin Jones Jr., those guys are going to get after the quarterback, Darius Smith. But if Kristin Miller, Bear Alexander, Sean Washington, those interior guys at 300 pounds, if they can get pressure up the middle, it's going to be really, really tough for quarterbacks to escape that and make something happen. This is a dynamic group with size and guys who can get after the passer. Kristin Miller's best football is still ahead of him. Sean Washington's football is still ahead of him. Bear Alexander is going to miss the spring. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to contribute immediately in the fall, but when he's healthy, I expect him to eventually make an impact and possibly be a multi-year starter. Now, Kristin Miller could be a guy who starts at some point. I'm not sure he'll be a multi-year starter, but I mean, you see it all the time. It's tough to be a multi-year starter on the defensive line, especially this past year when you had so many veterans and seniors coming back like Devonta Wyatt and Jordan Davis. I mean, you're not playing over those guys. Trayvon Walker earned that playing time. Jalen Carter, one of the best defensive linemen in college football. So guys like Nazir Stackhouse, Zion Logue, Tymon Mitchell, Tramel Walthour, they've really had to earn their playing time, and that's a group that needs to take the next step and be contributors next year, or else a healthy Bear Alexander or Kristin Miller might see the field earlier than we think. So again, this is a big time player. I've been high on Christen for a long time. He's just a great kid. This is not a kid who's going to get into any type of trouble. I think he loves Georgia, and if you're on Dog Post, this is not something that should be surprising to you. Every time I talk to him, he lights up about Kirby and the staff and has for years and years. His friends are in this class. I would have been really surprised if he went elsewhere, but the Buckeyes came on strong. Miami tried to come on strong late. There's a reason why he is, in my opinion, around that, top 100, top 120 players in the country and one of the best defensive linemen in the state. So Georgia goes after the best, and they wanted to take him in the end. And again, his senior season this past year, I don't have the rights to all of his senior highlights, just the ones that I go to. But he's a big-time player, absolutely, and I think Georgia fans should be really, really happy about this one because he contributes to a very, very good class, top 3 class in the country, and he's a guy who I think could be a multi-year starter down the road. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on the website.